Welcome back everyone to Pirate Era. So firstly, I'll just like to say thank you so much for helping the channel reach 100 subscribers. It's happened so fast and I really appreciate it, guys. So now without further ado, let's get straight into it. So this video is kind of my way of saying thank you to the Pirate Era community. It's a list of known boss drops, which boss they come from, as well as the coordinates for the boss spawn point. So I do apologise if I've actually missed any. Please let me know and I'll just put them in the description. So first, we're going to be going from Shell's Town of East Blue all the way to Wano country. So firstly is the Axe Hand dropped by Axe Hand Morgan in Shell Town. So I'll be putting the coordinates on the screen for you guys, so you don't have to worry about that. And then next is Buggy's Knives dropped by Buggy the Clown in Orange Town. And then there's Kuro's Claws, dropped by Captain Kuro in Syrup Village. Next is Gein's Tonfa, dropped by Gein at Barity. Then Don Krieg Spear, dropped by Don Krieg at Barity. Next is Kiribachi, dropped by Arlong at Arlong Park. Next is Jite, dropped by Smoker at Logtown. And then the next is Metal Bat, which is dropped by Mr. 9 at Reverse Mountain. Alright, ladies and gents, that's all the boss drops of East Blue, and we're now moving on to the first half of the Grand Line, referred to as Paradise. So first up is again the Metal Bat, dropped by Mr. 9, now at Whiskey Peak. Then moving on, we have the Blast Revolver, dropped by Mr. 5 at Little Garden. Then next is the Umbrella, dropped by Miss Valentine at Little Garden. She is Mr. Vive's partner. And then next we have the Crocodile's Hook and Crocodile's Cloak, dropped by Mr. Zero at Alabasta. And then again we have the Crocodile's Hook and Cloak, dropped by Crocodile at Alabasta. So they are in two different locations, but they do drop the same thing. And then moving on, we have Shura's Lance, dropped by Shura at Skypiea. Then we have the Eisen Whipped, dropped by Ohm at Skypiea. And then lastly, we have Enel's Back Drums and his Nonosama Bow Staff, which is dropped by Enel at Skypiea atop the gigantic beanstalk. Next, we have something a bit more interesting, which is Rob Lucci's Dove, the bird. So that sits on your shoulder, and that is dropped by Rob Lucci at Ennius Lobby's Inside. So, the next one's incredible. Up next is Shusui, one of the 21 Great Grade Swords, dropped by Ryuma at Thriller Bark. Next is Sentomaru's Axe, dropped by Sentomaru on Shabodi. Then next up is the Marine Cloaks. So these are actually dropped by any Admiral at Marineford, not just Akainu. They can drop from Aokiji, Kizaru, and Akainu, and I believe Sengoku as well. But I would suggest you focus on the other three rather than that, because I haven't actually confirmed that for Sengoku yet. So we're now finished with the first half of the Grand Line, and we're moving on to the New World. So we go deep under the ocean next to Fishman Island. So first up is Dosun's Hammer, which drops from Dosun at Fishman Island. And then next up is the Squid Spear, dropped by Icaros at Fishman Island. And then next is Hodie's Trident, dropped by Hodie Jones on Fishman Island. So next up is the GTA again, dropped by Smoker, now at Punk Hazard. And then next up is Diamante's Sword, dropped by Diamante on Dressrosa. And then we have Doflamingo's cloak and his glasses, which dropped by Doflamingo on Dressrosa at the very top in the castle. And then we have Jack's sickle, which is dropped by Jack the Drought on Zoe. After this, we arrive at an Emperor's territory with Pretzel, which is dropped by Cracker on Whole Cake Island. And then we have Mogura next, which is dropped by Katakuri, also on Whole Cake Island. So that guy was incredibly strong, and I love his weapon. So now we're actually arriving at Wano country, where several bosses can be fought as raids with your crew, or just with everyone else. So there's Whitebeards, who drops Murakumo Giri, which is White Seeds by Sento, and he spawns. So there's certain spawn locations, and I'll be putting them simply in the video, so you can just pause and write those down if you need to. Next is Kaido, who drops his Kanabo, and he spawns. And then next up is Odin, so he drops Enma. And then finally, there's Zoro, who drops Amino Hibakiri and Wado Ichimonji. Right, so ladies and gentlemen, that is all the boss drops that I know of. If I have missed any, please let me know. Please leave a like and subscribe if you'd like me to keep smashing out more content for you guys. And please help support the channel by telling your friends, family and fellow gamers about us. So I'll be seeing you in the next one.